I'm going to talk about focus through conflicts, particularly staying on focus. This might be a shorter one because I haven't really figured out a lot of it, so we'll depend on the comments a lot for helping us out on this one. But I feel like, oftentimes when people have a conflict, when two different individuals have something that is important to them that they're butting heads with, that they get onto these other important things almost as a way of relieving the pressure of such intensity in that one conflict. They're like, hey, but, even though we're talking about this and we both feel very strongly about this, and maybe one person wants to solve it one way, the other wants to solve it a different way, rather than even staying on topic in the intensity, they spiral out into these other topics. And sometimes it's an emotional spiral. Somebody's mad at you and they list like the issue that you guys are talking about, and they bring up everything about you that bugs them until it's too vague where it's like, wait, are we trying to solve this one thing that was bugging you before, or are we now going on about how like ugly I am or something? And like the way you don't like how I dress, or like all these non-relevant topics. So there's a key magic word phrase that I'm going to give you guys when you guys are in these conversations that you can say in your head and that you can say out loud if you find it to be true. You can ask yourself, is this relevant? Is this relevant? And if you ever find that the answer is no, this is not relevant to what we're trying to solve, you can bring that focus back by just stating it out into the open and saying, this isn't relevant. That isn't relevant. Try not to ask, especially rhetorically ask, because that's just a fight. Like, how is this relevant? That's not really you asking how it's relevant. That's you knowing that it's not relevant and rhetorically asking as combat. So in that, I know this is a whole different video and a whole different topic, but as I've said before in other ones too, it's very important. Just take information in when you're in the heat of things like that. Don't, quite get so emotional react, even if it takes you more time to process. In that, focus by one, is this relevant? And if it isn't, call it out as this isn't relevant. Let's stay on topic. And two, two. Oh yeah. Two was the emotional spiraling. I honestly kind of forgot what two was. I was just talking about it a second ago. Oh yes. Two is taking the time to slow down and really think rather than just say and do and react. How perfect it was that I was able to give an example of that live on camera. So often we can be a stream of consciousness, and in times of conflict resolution, I feel that the stream of consciousness state of being is less useful than the reflective state of being, of being able to think and choose what to do. There is a doing without choosing, and I know this flowy state because I'm in it a lot. But sometimes this reactive and flowy state is not the best state for conflicts and resolutions and coming together and things, because there's an additional processing layer that you can really benefit from if you take the time to slow down, to stop, and to think before replying. In this, it's really, really great to take that time, whether they give it to you or not. A lot of times people will respond and demand attention now and answers now and all these things right now. And you get trapped into the reactive mode where you react right now and you just throw something out there. At least I do. And I just found myself just making something up, whatever came to my mind first, and it may not even been what I really thought. I was just giving them an answer, not the answer, because they needed an answer now. So instead of getting all worked up and crazy and losing your head and giving them a random answer, think and let them know, I haven't thought about this yet. Give me a minute. Maybe even after a minute, you've only come a little bit further. And maybe you'd like to think about it more, and you'll talk to them about that. But I'm thinking after a minute or after some time, you can give them at least something that isn't tip of the head, right this instant, thought of. Because even just a simple minute of processing can really help. Yeah. And then there's the long processing. Oh my gosh. Long processing, like over days, like sleeping on it. We've all heard these phrases. And there's also community processing. That's one of my favorites. And that's also where you come in too, guys. Because with community processing, that's where you guys help me out too. Even with this feedback loop that is this community here. Check out the comments down below. I'm not the only one who's part of this. And you guys can see, and some of you guys already know. So I really like those who already know. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are on all that you've heard with all these immediate processing, the community processing, processing over a few days rather than a few minutes. Something I didn't touch on very much before, but communicating that you're processing. I almost skipped over that too fast. It's good to say, not just think and be silent and have the other person be like, what is that person doing? But rather to let the person know, I want to give you a real answer rather than just some random thing quick. So I'm going to take a moment to really think about this. And even if they don't give you a moment to think about it, I usually still take it because ultimately I get to choose what I do. I mean, for one, and for two, things can get really bad if you just are doing whatever, because then it's like you're watching a movie rather than actually living your life. But anyways, yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll be reading your comments down below.